Hello fellow cultivators, this video will be a short build video about Lightning Blade and Lightning Fist. And I know that in my channel I have already talked about these two builds before, and in fact it's funny thing that my first video in this channel is actually a showcase video of Lightning Fist. And the first proper build video is about Lightning. And so why am I coming back to this again? It's not because I am running out of content. No, definitely not. It's more like I have learned something new and I want to share it with you. And out of this video you will see that I will talk about a build which is a little bit different from general Lightning. And so this video will be talking about a few things, and some of them, like, for example, I saw a comment that do you have a pure Lightning like build showcase or anything, and I realized that's it's the same thing, that I have never shown a pure Lightning thing, and that's many reasons that it's just better to have a different martial or spiritual skill compared to Lightning one. And this was actually explained in the Lightning build guide. It's mainly because if you have a Lightning motion, you can apply the buff or debuff already, so you don't need a Lightning martial spiritual skill. Anyways, so let's come back to this thing. So the main thing I want to talk about is actually this special skill called Spiritual Lightning. It is mentioned in the Lightning build video that this one is actually one of the two special skills I recommend. I mean, in general, I recommend you to use Lightning Cloud or Thunder Cloud, what is it called? Because that one does have the best damage-wise, because every single stacks of the Chaotic Lightning will increase 10%, and with 16 stacks, that 160% of damage increase is great. However, the Spiritual Lightning, it does have its own special thing, that is, if you look at the 6 sub-skill, when there's only one enemy, after every bounce, your attack will increase 19 for 10 seconds. So it is great because you can increase attack. And I think I mentioned in the Lightning build video that at that time I was not sure if this attack will be actually applied to your entire build or it's just for this special skill damage. And I did some tests, and in fact just after that video published in a few days, I did some tests and realized the attack increase applies to everything. So you are literally have more attack, and so it applies to all your skills. So in that sense, it is a very good skill. Of course, there's a problem. One is you only one enemy, so that is thing. And second thing is every bounce. So this skill, what does it do? Is basically it shoots out the lightning ball, and it will bounce between you and the enemy. The more lightning surge, aka the buff you have, the more bouncing time it will have. And there is a sub-skill which is quite important with the 10th one, the lightning bolt speed plus 600. Because the faster it does the bouncing faster, so that you will increase your attack further and you are getting a lot of damage. And so it is a very good special skill, especially you can combine this with Spirit Fusion. So this is, again, I think this video now it's becoming a thing. All the not very correct things I said before, I want to correct it back. So Spirit Fusion in general, I do not like it. Mainly because from cost efficient wise, it's just not good. Instead, you cast the same, you cast it again 3 times, and you cost a lot of MP, but you are only dealing 30% damage. So it's not a good deal according to me. However, it is good for skills that not damage wise, because the only 30% is damage. So that's therefore for something like a summon build, there's no such thing, it become very good. And this also applies for this guy, right? So if you have Spirit Fusion, you trigger it in 4 times. You have 4 balls bouncing between you and the enemy, and each of them at every bounce increase your attack 19 attack, and that is not being cut down by 30%. So it's pretty great with a Spiritual Lightning build. So yeah, and the only problem is if you want to increase your attack fast with this bouncing, you want to be very close to the enemy. So you essentially becomes a melee ranged build, and that's why you want to use a proper melee martial skill. So either Blade, because you have Lifesteal, or Fist, because you have Bone Fracture to stun the enemy. So both of these are very good martial skills in the melee range, and because they are melee, so that's why they are good. Because you need to have something to compensate the range thing. So that's how design works. And finally, in general, you want a motion skill, like a lightning one, so that you can still use the lightning surge yourself. And that is actually quite important, again, for the spiritual lightning, because if you look at which one? 8th one. If you have 4 stacks of lightning surge and casting skill, the cooldown of spiritual skills or martial skills minus 34%. So itself is almost as good as one martial skill specification, since when you have 4 stacks of lightning surge, it's quite nice. So in a way, this whole thing works very nice with each other. And of course, I never mentioned, but in general, it is still a lightning build. So you would need a lightning special skill to trigger lightning bolt. You would need a lightning mastery to reduce the number of times to trigger lightning bolt, and you need lightning security manual to make each lightning bolt increase the damage at 1.8%, which is, again, I know I mentioned in my lightning build video, this is very important. However, let's say in the middle game-ish, I would say the lightning bolt damage itself is actually more important than the damage amplification effect. So that is, you can clearly feel that, for example, if you switch on your ultimate, which actually increases your lightning bolt damage a lot, then you can clearly feel that, oh my god, the lightning bolt is doing a lot of damage, and that is exactly how the lightning build can be powerful when it just started. But once the battle drags longer, let's say than 1 minute, like 2 minutes, then you can sort of starting to feel, oh my god, the lightning bolt damage amplification starts to make it more and more powerful. And in the end of this video, I will show a few cases to show you what are the main powerful things in this build. But yeah, I have already talked about a few things like that which is not mentioned very well in my lightning build, including this guy, spiritual lightning, the effect of increased damage, the whole spirit fusion, as well as the meaning of lightning bolt. And at this point, I feel lightning bolt damage itself is more important if the battle is shorter. And I think, right, and one last thing about, or I already mentioned in the video about introducing the Right Destiny counterattack, really good actually, because it does not have time limit. So every 6% damage you receive in battle, you increase the damage 1%, and it can stack 100 times, so you have 100 times damage increase. So it's really good for a melee build. And everything else, and if you are building this in middle to late game, consider Nirvana is really good for melee. You need this guy to survive. And Supernova Sword, basically the one to switch lightning build on for you. Without this thing, you do not play lightning. This is extremely important, and this is the reason why you can only start to build a lightning build something around Origin Spirit and Northern Soul, because that's when you can get this Right Destiny. And before you get this Right Destiny, just use Water Burst. It's really good at an early game. And once you can get Supernova Sword, just replace that. And obviously, Spirit Fusion is there. Okay, you need Murderous Rise. And basically, you sort of get everything done when you have Spirit Fusion 2 or 3 around Nathan. So that's when this build starts to make sense. And Soul Formation, another Spirit Fusion, make it better. And Enlightenment counterattack, make it better. So that's basically how it is. So now let's show you a few battles and see. So here I want to first start with Muxian Tower run, where I'm at Soul Formation, so I'm one big realm lower, even though I do have many skills upgrade to Enlightenment with the upgrading book. And I'm also using Blade Motion skill here, so that it is not its full power attack power. The Blade Motion skill is actually meant for me to dodge enemy attack, because I'm under-realmed, of course. And the fun thing is, now if you see, I jumped up and you can see this lightning bolt still bouncing between me, while I'm in the sky, so that's another thing that this bouncing still works while you're in the sky, so it works pretty well with Blade Motion skill as well. And also when you drop down from the Blade Motion skill, you have 50% basically martial skill cooldown reduction, so make your attack faster, and I do like it a lot. Even with the pure lightning, I think you can think about just using Blade Motion skill, because you don't need the lightning motion skill to apply the damage, the buff debuff to you. Therefore, Blade Motion skill actually works better with you if you are using a lightning LMB. Anyways, we dealt with a few things very easily, and as you can see, I'm just going really close to the thing, but when there's more than one enemy, I do not have the damage increase. So you can see that with low damage, it's not that easy to wear down enemy. But the second time when I use my special skill, the boss's HP drawn much faster. That's because I have the attack increase. And yeah, as you can see with the blade, the stun from the blade motion skill as well as stun from my beat skill, I can keep myself relatively safe as well, even though I am, still under level. And this guy, you know how crazy difficult it is, that's why I immediately use my ult immediately and try to go pretty fast if you switch on the ult, because that's how this thing works. And also you can sort of see my lightning bolt I already triggered around 39 times, and that is already more than 1.5 times damage increase. So it's after a certain point, your lightning bolt damage amplification become quite powerful as well. So yeah. The second battle here I am against the Skyscraper Abomination, and it is a world boss in the desert region. And now I am actually using a lightning fist, and because fist is bone fracture, so I can stun enemy. As you can see, he's stunned most of the time. Therefore, I'm really safe. Therefore, I'm not using anything else like the blade motion to stun, or even the rushing thunder to stun, the beat skill to stun enemy. So I am just using the lightning motion so that I can deal more damage, because it will grant me more lightning surge so that both bundles can bounce more times. And yeah, so the enemy does not really, you can see that it's almost always stunned, and that's very nice thing about lightning fist. And also because I can use my lightning motion, so every time when I use my special skill I have 34% of attack faster, so that's why I can keep my damage the enemy to be stunned as well. So in general, I do like lightning fist as well. The only problem is the enemy needs to be able to be stunned, and that you can see from the next battle, which I am against 35 Suanyu in the Muxian station. And oh, by the way, previously I am already in Enlightenment, and now I am also still in Enlightenment. And you can see Suanyu is immune to all static effects, which means it cannot be stunned, and it has very high damage. This is why I'm using I'm not going to flip this one with this stupid damage limit thing. So 35 one is still very powerful, and I'm using a lightning blade because I know I will lose a lot of HP, and with blade, you know that I can life steal it back. And if you pay attention to, there's this little sword-like icon. Right now it's 16 stack. That is actually the counter stack icon there. I mean, it shows this icon because the mod, I think if you have the original game without the mod, it won't show the icon, but it's just to tell you that how much damage you can get from the counter attack very fast. So with Suanyu, I am more than 55 stack, that's 55% of damage increase. And well, at this time, a lightning bolt is only 17 stack, that's much less compared to counter attack. So yeah, in this kind of battles, counter attack works very well with blade. But later on, if the battle drags much longer, you will see the lightning bolt is actually still very powerful with the damage amplification. But anyway, dealing with Suanyu is not that difficult at all with lightning blade. Alright, and finally I want to show you a battle about monster waves while I am still at Enlightenment. And you know, wave of monsters is not that easy, even you are at Reborn early, Reborn middle, you're in Chaos. But I am at Enlightenment, notice that. And also, because monster wave have multiple enemies, I'm going to deal with Plate without the initial mystical monster, therefore there will be a lot of enemies. That means that my spiritual lightning, my special skill, won't bring me attack increase. Okay, I am literally using my original attack with my Enlightenment. And you can see that initially, it is not that easy to wear their even those elite HP down. Even with help with other cultivators. But as time goes, I already see that I already have more than 100 times of lightning bolt stacks that you can see from the top of my HP bar, the first icon. Again, from that mod, it shows how much stacks of my lightning bolt have. And just a friendly reminder. So normally in the battle, previous two battles normally have like 30 stacks of lightning bolt triggered. When at the battle that is 70% of damage increase, which is already quite a lot, right? I mean, if you consider things like Cloud Pierce Lightning, which brings you 30% damage increase, that's it. But 70% is much better. Of course, cannot be compared with a simple fire motion, but it is still great. But now with 100 stacks of lightning bolt, the damage increase is much more. Because 100 stacks, that means I have already 6 times damage increase. That is already comparable with a fire motion. And notice practically you cannot really infinitely refresh your fire motion. So most of the time you only have one fire motion, you have 6 times, I don't know, 3 times, 4 times damage increase. But lightning, it's always there. So right now I already have 300 stacks of lightning. That is 200 times damage increase. Not 200%, 200 times. Just see this Chongqi appears. And come to it, in a few seconds Chongqi is deleted. I'm telling you, if this Chongqi appears in the initial of the battle when I do not have this 300 stacks of lightning bolt, it'll take me more than 1 minute, 2 minutes just to deal with it alone. But lightning bolt can be triggered really fast when if you're dealing with a lot of enemies, things like these monster waves. And therefore, with the Enlightenment lightning build, it is extremely strong. I can get much more contribution from this monster waves probably any other build at Enlightenment time. And now it goes 400 stacks. 400 stacks is more than 1000 times damage increase. So lightning bolt at later long games, long time game, and with a lot of enemies like this is extremely good. And there are a few things I want to add more as well. For example, you see that there are a lot of rocks falling down. That's because of my Xuanguiso. And it is a good AoE, but also Xuanguiso first protect myself, since again this is a melee build, right? So protect is good. But also Xuanguiso, this rock falling down will stun enemy. The stun will increase your critical damage. So even if you're not using a fist bow fracture, you still have stun. That's good. Also, you could see that after this long battle, it's already more than 1 or 2 minutes, right? I still at full HP and full MP. And that's again because lightning, if you have good guide which allows you to recover MP from lightning bolt striking, and you basically have infinite MP, which is great itself. And again, with the blade LMB, I have good HP recovery as well. So I can basically infinite goes, and until my lightning bolt getting more and more. Now it's 500 times, that is 7000 times damage. At the point, I'm not even sure if it's actually calculated that way, because I don't know if that's true. By the way, this is when Spirit Fusion 4 times comes, when I just have 4 different outs going on. It's pretty fancy as well. So yeah, I think that's about everything. This video mainly talking about lightning builds and showcase, and also things I didn't mention or didn't explain that well in the previous lightning build guide. Like for example, things like spiritual lightning, which does increase your attack all the time, and also in general, like spirit fusion is good. It's kind of good with spiritual lightning, this special skill, and as well as what else? Yeah, lightning bolt in the short game, it's mainly for its damage, so you want to switch it on your out to maximize its damage. And in a long-term game, it's just so great as a damage amplifier. It's even better than Fairy Flames. And yeah, of course, counter-attack is good in a battle like that. I think that basically concludes everything about it. I think soon a Tau tier will come as well. Again, it will be deleted in a few seconds. But yeah, I think that's basically everything. So thank you for watching this video. If you like this content, please consider leave a like or subscribe to my channel. And I'm waiting for the Tau tier to finish, to give my last sentence. I will see you next time. Please come, please come. We have 13 seconds left. Okay, Tau tier comes. Come to me and delete in a few seconds. That's it. Alright, I will see you next time. Oh right, don't forget to see how much contribution I get from this battle. See you.